Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. Okay, I'm so sorry I was late, people. I was trying to get that PowerPoint finished at the last minute. Okay? Clearly, I was doing too much. All right, so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. And if you haven't done so, you really should. This is the channel where we get our spiritual vitamins on a daily. Okay? So please go ahead and like and share this video. Like and share the video. Let me see who's all in here. Okay. One who cares. Have a wonderful day, Queen and Royal Family. Thank you, beloved. Same to you. SMCM, Cassandra, Lenora, October, Roslyn, my aunt Egypt, Terry, Zamara, Susan, Davida, LeVar. Okay, Lady E, Pearly. Let's get into it, Millie, Miho. All right, Isaiah. All right, Kathy B, dark skinned brother is here. Daron, Leonard. And didn't I see Dan Ruck? Could have sworn I saw Dan in here. Conscious Outlaw, okay, is black. Let's get into it, people. Today, Rain Love, hello. Ray Williams, October, Lawrence, Leonard. Okay, with that all being said, people, let's get into it because I'm going to be telling you about the universal laws. There are 12 of them, and now I know that some of us may not have realized there were so many, but there is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so I can show you all this PowerPoints. Okay, and the sooner you start applying these laws of the universe to your life, the better off you will be. All right, and let's not forget we're engaged right now currently as I'm speaking in spiritual warfare. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, well, it is by no accident. All right, the universe has sent you here right now to hear these laws so that you can start actively applying them to your daily life. So let's get into it. Okay, and if you noticed, I spell universal with Y-O-U at the beginning. That's because universe, we being spiritual beings living a human experience, right? Us being the children of the Most High, melanated people, we are connected and one with the universe. Okay? We are made of melanin. The universe also is made and composed of melanin. Our hair are our extensions, right? Extensions of our central nervous system that are our direct antennas connecting us to the universe. So now let's get into it. Okay, now I'm sure we've all heard about the laws of attraction, but what about the law of polarity, the law of divine oneness, or the law of correspondence? Have any of you heard of those? I'm sure many of you may not have. Thank you, never mind, for your kind words. So with that all being said, we mostly know about the law of attraction because that's the one that most people talk about. And the reason people talk about that one so much is because that is the one that you use to manifest things to yourself, right? To attract things into your life, things that you want. So yes, that's the one that people favor. And so knowing about the law of attraction, many people don't know about the others, or they simply don't care to use them. Now that's right. The law of attraction is just one of the 12 universal laws, and getting familiar with the other 11 can help us to unlock a more spiritually aligned life. Okay, Woken said, I haven't heard of the others. See, that's what I'm saying, beloved. Many of us hadn't. Now, the list of ancient laws, because these are ancient people, right? They have withstood the test of time, as both Kaiser, Kumar, and plenty of others, and these are scholars around the world, still work with today. All of these laws are about mastering your life with love and joy. This is what Kaiser explained. What are the 12 universal laws and where do they come from? The 12 universal laws are thought to be intrinsic, unchanging laws of our universe that ancient cultures have always intuitively known. You see, the laws are often associated with Ho'oponopono, a meditation for freedom originating in ancient Hawaiian culture. Some of the laws, however, are also attributed to Hermetic philosophy going back to ancient Egypt or the ancient Cometians. Now, the list of ancient laws has withstood the test of time, as both Kaiser and Kumar have said, and so have plenty of others. I think I already read this. All of these laws are about mastering your life with love and joy. Now, the law of oneness. This is the first law, the law of oneness. The first and most foundational law of the universe is the law of divine oneness, which highlights the interconnectedness of all things. It says that beyond our senses, every thought, action, and event is in some way connected to anything and everything else. Now, Kaiser notes that this one can come off a bit heady, but applying it in real life entails being compassionate with others and recognizing that we all are one. Now, she recommends working with this law by asking questions like, how can I show more compassion and acceptance towards those I don't understand? Or what would love do? Not what would Jesus do? What would love do? All right? And this is what our people need to be asking ourselves. Stop looking at each other with a side eye. Stop looking at people being suspicious. Stop saying, oh, I'm not going to shop with black businesses because they don't have professionalism. They don't do this and they don't do that. They give poor service. When you know good and darn well you go to other places and purchase things and they have just as poor of a service, if not worse. You don't say one word. The law of divine oneness. You need to be connected with people that are in your own nation. Not saying you shouldn't interconnect with other people, but I'm saying you should have a special connection with the people in your own nation. That's what many of our people don't do, especially people like Candace Owens. Now, so with that all being said, number 2 is the law of vibration. Now, at a microscopic level, everything is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. Now, this applies to matter, but also to one's personal frequency as well. That's why I'm always telling y'all to keep your frequencies high. Don't let people lower your frequency. That's all low vibrational thinking and action, and it draws more of negative things to you. Now, this law says that our vibrational frequency can inform our lived experience. So you want to be low vibrational, act low vibrational, that's what you'll live in life. For example, you may be able to receive money, but perhaps you can't hold on to it. This is what Kumar noted. Because vibrationally, you could be operating on a lower level. So even if you get the things that you want, if you get money, let's just say you hit the lottery. You hear these stories all the time about people who go out and win the lottery for millions, and then 2 years later, they're flat broke. And you ask yourself, how in the world did you blow through, squander $2 million in 2 years? How did you do that? Because these people are low vibrational. Low vibrational people are negative. They engage in negative circumstances. They deal with negative people, and therefore, they live a negative lifestyle. And even when something positive happens, well, they quickly can turn that positive into a negative just because of their thinking and their action. And they actually manifest these things upon themselves, sometimes unwittingly. Now, how do you apply this law? If you feel the need to elevate your frequency and good vibes, you know, there are numerous great practices that you can do, including yoga, sound bathing, and chakra work, or like someone that I know uses a tuning fork. And I absolutely love the sound that it makes, and I am absolutely going to get me one this weekend. Number 3, the law of correspondence. This law states that patterns repeat throughout the universe. And on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at the moment. Think about as above, so below. As within, so without. Now, how do you apply it? Well, Kaiser's mantra for this law is it's happening for you, not to you. If our life is chaotic and fearful, it's because there is chaos and fear within. Remember, I always tell you all that energy, everything is made up of energy, and energy, our energy comes from within. Inner, INNERG. That's exactly why I call it that. Now, or spell it that way. If our life is chaotic and fearful, it's because there's chaos and fear within. If our life seems calm and grounded, it's because we feel peace within. within. It starts with your inner self, where you have your energy, whether it's negative or positive. Now, in any troubling situation, she suggests, and that's Kaiser, suggests that asking what the situation can show you about yourself and what requires healing from within. So basically, like I have told you before, we could talk about problems all day long, and we could sit here and discuss and debate and go over our issues and problems. But if you're not trying to actively come up with a solution, then what are you accomplishing? Other than to just keep talking about the problem, which is what? Problems are negative. So when you're talking about problems, that's always a negative, right? And a lot of times it lowers our vibration. But you can raise your vibration by focusing on the solution, not so much as focusing on the problem with things. In any troubling situation, that's what she says, right? Ask what the situation can show you about yourself and what requires healing within. That's how you arrive at a solution. Number 4 is the law of attraction. Undoubtedly the most talked about universal law. The law of attraction is often used for manifestation. It says that like attracts like, and you get what you focus on. Not only that, but you have to believe what you're seeking is possible to obtain. You have to remove doubt from your mind. You can't be sitting there saying, okay, I want to get a better job and I want a higher position. I want to make more money. But at the same time, you're saying this, your thoughts are saying, well, I know I'm not going to get the job. I don't have enough experience. I wish I had gone and got that college degree. It's probably not going to work out. If you're thinking that and saying something different, the universe gets conflicted, right? So you have to have your thoughts in sync with what you are saying if you want to manifest things. It is similar to the law of vibration in this way. It's important to learn how to vibrate at a level that attracts what you are seeking. Now, number 6, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Now, this law states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving or fluctuating. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest in our physical reality. Ever been around a negative person and you felt your own positivity depleting? We just talked about this the other day when I was telling you about psyche vampires. They completely deplete you of your positive energy and restore it with their own negativity, because energy is what? It is absolutely contagious. That's one example. But it can also work the other way around. Higher frequencies transmute lower ones when applied with intention. Everything is about intention. Now, how do you apply this? Well, knowing this, we can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us by maintaining positive thoughts and actions. So let's talk about that. So let's just say, for example, you have a problem and you're just sitting there just so depressed and so sad. But now the problem that you have, it's already happened, right? It's already occurred. You know how there's some things you can't fix? It's already done. It's a done deal. For example, you went to the racetrack. I'm from Kentucky, so that's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm sorry. I'm from Kentucky, so I'm not from there, but raised there. So in Kentucky, they have the horse races, right? Churchill Downs. So let's say you visited Kentucky and you went to the horse race and you took $1,000 with you and you lost 500 of it. You lost half your money, or you lost all of it. Well, it's no use sitting there crying over spilled milk. That money's gone. It's dead in the water. You already lost it. Now, you made the choice and you chose to gamble, but you lost, right? So why would you sit there and just complain, oh, I lost my money. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. Listen, that's all negative and low vibrational. You lost the money. It's not coming back. The racetrack is going to come up to you and say, hey, we didn't want to take your money, and they're not going to give it back to you. So from that point on, are you going to sit there and wallow in your own misery of your own making, no less, and say, you know, I lost this money? Or are you going to try to start thinking quickly of a way to regain the money that you lost, and then tell yourself that from now on, you're going to make more, you're going to make better and more wise decisions? That should teach you something. It should teach you that you never squander your money that you know that you need, that you don't just callously spend money on foolish things that will yield you no benefits, and that even if you do decide to gamble just for a brief moment, just for fun or whatever, that you would definitely not gamble with all of your money. You will only gamble with a portion that you can afford to lose. Maybe you can only lose $20. So that's what you'll gamble with. And if you lose that, you should tell yourself you're done. That should be a teachable moment. That's what you use those circumstances and situations for. Dark skinned brother says, I went to one of those horse races in Kentucky, but I didn't gamble. I did my basic training there in Kentucky. Okay. At Fort Knox, no less. Okay, so with that all being said, knowing this, we can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us by maintaining positive thoughts and actions. So that's what you have to do. Try to see a good side. Try to, or at least see something that you can learn, some way that you can benefit from the situation. If it helps you to realize, Darcy Brother says, yes, you're right, Queen. Facts. Thank you, beloved. Try to make it something that, will teach you a lesson so you realize that you shouldn't be wasteful like that again. Okay? Number 7, the law of cause and effect. Now, this is relatively straightforward. You see, this law highlights the direct relation between actions and events. What's important to note here, according to Kumar, is that we often can't see the effects right away, and they will come back around, right? Now, how do you apply it? Trust that every action will have a reaction, whether it's good or bad. Now, what you put out there may not come back to you at that moment, but that vibration, that energy that you put out there, it has a ripple effect, according to Kumar. Now, if you're coming from a place of anger or resentment, if you put that energy out there, you'll eventually be affected as a result. Careful what you put into the universe, people. It comes back to you tenfold. Now, number 8 is the law of compensation. The law of compensation relates closely to the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. You see, you reap what you sow is the main takeaway here. Now, with the law stating your efforts will always come back to you positively. If you are seeking something, you must contribute in some way toward your goal. That's what I always tell people. Like, some people sit there and they need a job or they need money for bills or they need whatever, and they'll say, oh, I'm just going to pray about it. Okay, yeah, you can pray about it, but you have to be putting in the work. God's just not going to just drop something in your lap. If you know you need a job, don't just sit at home praying for a job. Pray for the job. Get out and go fill out applications, drop off your resumes, try to set up interviews and do things like that. Pound the pavement. Don't just sit there and pray, right? You have to put in the work. That's how it goes. How to apply it. To work with this law in a manner that attracts or compensates for something, love and support, for example, Kaiser suggests that you ask yourself, where am I being called to serve and to support others today? So in other words, don't just always be asking people for things and never wanting to give anything. It's okay to do something nice for someone, and you don't have to spend money to do it. You can do very nice things for people that don't cost you anything but a little bit of time. You could give someone positive affirmations. You could help someone with a project they're working on. You could help someone with an assignment they have for college or school. You could tutor them. You could just give them some words of encouragement. You could listen to their problems. You could try to help them find solutions. All of these are things that cost you nothing but a little bit of time. Number 9, the law of relativity. This law suggests that we're inclined to compare things in our world, but in reality, everything is neutral. Relativism exists in all things, and in the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. Remember, like I always tell you, perception is reality. Whatever you perceive, that's how you view the world. Someone else could be looking at the same photo or reading the same book and have a completely different perception, because our perception is our reality. Queen Ahmadiyyah says, faith without works is dead. Action makes a difference. Absolutely, beloved. Now, how to apply it? Applying this law can help us understand the tougher parts of our lives with greater compassion. For example, if we're feeling ungrateful for our living situation, it could be because we're comparing our arrangements with someone else. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. I told you that before also, because there's no need to compare yourself. Everyone is different and unique. We have different circumstances, and sometimes we may have the same circumstances of being the same situation as someone else, but perhaps we have a different way that we need to approach the situation. So don't compare yourself to others. That is how people get involved in hating and being jealous and envious of people, because they compare themselves to other people. Stay in your lane, let them stay in theirs. We all have our own lane, right? And like I always tell people when they're hating on me, honey, there's no need to compete when you can't compare. The only person I compete with is myself. Every day I ask myself, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? What can I do today that I didn't know yesterday? What can I learn? I try to make it my business to learn something new every day. And I have done that since I was a child. And I don't know where I got that from. Nobody taught it to me. It was just something in me that I always wanted to learn. And another thing that I did was I was always trying to, always wanted to work the hardest, get the best grades in school. That was always very important to me. And I always was a sore loser. I never liked to lose. I always wanted to win, win, win. And I never understood why I was that way until as I got older and I started to study astrology and numerology. And I realized that my birth number is a number 1. And people who are born under a number 1, a couple of celebrities will be Oprah and Tom Hanks. People who are born under a number 1 birth number always want to come in first. They always want recognition. They always want to be first. They want to be significant. And so they hate to lose. Will Smith is probably a 1, although I don't know for sure about him, but he seems like one. So how to apply it? Well, for example, if you're feeling ungrateful for your living situation, it could be because you're comparing your arrangements with someone else, right? Now, instead, we'd be better off appreciating what we have without needing to compare it to something else. Number 10 is the law of polarity. Now, this law says that everything in life has an opposite, good and evil. You know how they say some people are polar opposites, right? Now, they have love and fear, warmth and cold. And that's why when people say, well, God killed all of his enemies in the Bible except for Satan. Why didn't he kill Satan? That's because Satan is a polar opposite from God. God is good and just and righteous. Satan is wicked, evil, and nefarious, right? So the key is understanding these are all 2 sides of the same coin. How to apply it? Well, Kaiser works with this law through the mantra that says all contrast brings more clarity. If you're facing a difficult situation, like say a breakup or a health challenge, for example, tune into what the positive look or what the opposite looks like, which can reveal a new perspective. Now I want y'all to think about that for a minute. Think about that. If you're going through a breakup or a health challenge, before you start getting all depressed and just all in your feelings and all emotion and upset and worried and stressed, think about what the opposite could look like, which can reveal a new perspective or lesson. Because if you're going through a breakup, right? And rather than sitting there pondering and stressing yourself out over what you lost, think about the next person who could come into your life. Someone who could treat you the way you actually want to be treated, right? I need a t-shirt that says that. Don't compete if you can't compare, says Lee Hart. Thank you, Lee. Let me write that down, honey, because you know the t-shirts and hoodies are coming back in just about a week or 2, okay? So I'll get some with that on there. Now, number 11 is the law of rhythm. Cycles are a natural part of the universe. Now, physically, you can think about the seasons on the earth. In our own lives, we can remember that integration is just as important as growth. Kumar notes that We expect ourselves to be one way all the time, whether we're thinking about our health, even productivity. But this is not sustainable. Let me tell you all something. Speaking of being one way all of the time. So let me just give you an example. So the other day, when I did my live broadcast on here, I was watching the playback. I like to go back so I can read the chat, because I can't always see what you guys are putting in the chat. So I went back and I saw someone put in there that I was acting white. Someone said, "Oh, you're acting white." I don't know what they were talking about when they said I was acting white. Okay, thank you, Terry, beloved. I don't know what they exactly meant when they said I was acting white, but that's what someone said in the comment section. So I'm like, in the chat, "I'm acting white. What are you talking about?" Maybe they were talking about the way I speak. But here's what I have to say about that. And I say this all the time. Sometimes I talk ghetto. Sometimes I talk proper. Both times you heard what the F I said. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And my thing is, when a Black person uses correct grammar and speaks grammatically correct, why do some Black people ignorantly say that you're acting or talking to whites, as if speaking with proper grammar in English is relegated only to white people? That's hilarious, Queen. That's hilarious. Never the Queen acting. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Dion said, acting white. Yes, that's what somebody put in the chat. Clearly, they were trying to be nefarious. Now, how to apply it? Take note of your inner rhythms and try to work with them instead of fighting them. Feeling run down? Well, maybe it's better to give yourself some rest instead of powering through. Yes, sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes we do too much. Do they say someone? Says woke one. They just said acting. Are you talking about what the person said in the chat, beloved? They just said that I was acting white, honey. I don't know what their problem was. Now, Terry says, "Tell it, Queen." Lady E says, "I love it, Queen. You heard what the F I say." Yes, that's right. Now, the 12th law is the law of gender. And lastly, the law of gender has to do with the masculine and feminine energy that exists in all things, right? Kaiser notes that much of our society has historically operated from a masculine hustle and do mentality, which doesn't allow for much room to be just, or to just be, or to just simply exist, right? How to apply it? Achieve your own balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies in order to live more authentically. Okay? So I hope you all like that. Now, the last one, here's the bottom line, people. And there you have it, the 12 universal laws, right? Now, before you get too overwhelmed, integrating them into your life is more about understanding and conceptualizing them in a way that makes sense to you. You have to make it make sense, people. Now, Kumar notes it doesn't have to be so analytical. Understand the concepts and keep it on the back burner of your mind. This is what she says, so that you learn how to work with them in day-to-day scenarios. Okay? This can only help and serve to improve your life. All right? Okay, Welcome says, sorry, typo. That's okay, beloved. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed that presentation. Right? Thank you, CCB, for your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. And also thank you, Pearlie, for your contribution, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Queen Adai says, I got that growing up. You talk white. No, my parents are absolutely melanated. My mother did not play that. What is talking white and what is talking melanated? Saltines put this in our heads. Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing. I'm sorry. I have said this before for some people that forgot. There are some people that I would say are ghetto or can act ghetto. And there's some people that are hood rats or who can act like hood rats. Now, the difference, in my opinion, between a ghetto person and a hood rat is this. The ghetto person knows when to turn it off. A hood rat doesn't. You see, sometimes I talk hood, right? Ghetto, whatever you want to call it. And that's usually when I'm just talking to my people, right? And then, but sometimes in certain settings, you talk with correct grammar, right? Now, the hood rat doesn't do that. You see, a hood rat will always just talk hood, and they'll go to a job interview or they'll be giving a seminar and they'll speak the same way. That's just the way it goes, right? Dark Skin Brother said, this was a great lesson, Queen, and great information as always, my sister. Thank you, beloved. Terry says, thank you so much, Queen. Thank you. And Lee Harp says, big facts, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Lady E says, exactly. You know how to adjust. Exactly. You know, I was taught as a child, when in Rome, do as the Romans. At the end of the day, listen, I speak at least 5 or 6 different languages, right? So, and like I said, sometimes I talk proper and sometimes I talk ghetto, but both times you heard the F I said. That's all that counts, right? You still got the message and the gist of the conversation. I mean, was I at any point ever belligerent or illiterate to where you couldn't understand? Did I stammer? Did I stutter? Did I act like Biden did the last time we heard him? I'm just saying, fumbling and bumbling over words. Judah Queen said, code switching, LOL. Right. Okay. Now, let me just say this. Here's the thing, people. The reason when I'm on this channel specifically that you will likely hear me talking in a more professional tone is because that's just comes natural, because I do motivational speaking and I conduct seminars and I do lectures and I am a college professor. So this is how I talk when I'm teaching students. Okay. This is how I talk when I'm asked to come and do a motivational seminar. This is how I talk. And I teach these same principles that I'm teaching you about spirituality. So it's just always in my head because that's what I'm used to doing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when I'm talking about police brutality, racism, and wannabe white supremacy, yeah, I get ghetto because I get mad. Now, when I get mad, I don't talk proper. Okay? That's what I don't do. When I get mad, I take it to the streets. And so that's why when I'm on my channel talking about all the low vibrational nefarious things, yes, I will get hood because that's how it makes me feel. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the difference. Okay. It's a new day in the neighborhood says, I don't call it white. I call it using my customer service voice. Absolutely. Okay. Davida says, oh, Biden butt's been wiped, as he said in the interview. I mean, he was just so sad. Shady Pines, here he comes, right? Tammy says, Queen, put that sometimes I talk, but you heard what the F I said quote on a shirt. I want one. Okay, beloved. Thank you all for the suggestions. Listen, I hope you all got something out of this, and I hope that you start applying these universal laws to your daily life, right? You don't have to use them all at once, but use them as need be and start using them little by little. Okay, don't just use the law of attraction, because when you use the law of oneness, the law of polarity, the law of correspondence, and all of these other ones, it helps you work better when you're trying to manifest things and live the life that you want. Take your own destiny into your hands. Let no one tell you what you can or can't do. Tell yourself what you can do. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of my least favorite words are no, try, and can't. Okay? I don't like those words. They're all negative and low vibrational as far as I'm concerned. And I also don't like to make excuses. Either I'm going to do something or I'm not going to do it. I don't like excuses. I don't like to hear excuses. And I don't like to make excuses, right? When I have told students to do something and then they don't do it and they come back with an excuse, well, oh, I had to do this. Oh, I stayed up too late. I don't want to hear your excuses, because like a wise man once told me, I don't need excuses. I need results. Okay? And remember, there's always room for improvement, people. It's never too late. I told you, a 94-year-old man got his bachelor's degree in college because he always wanted to. And so there is nothing, it's never too late until you're 6 feet under. Until then, live your best life and do what you want to do. And don't let people discourage you, hinder you, or put obstacles in the way to keep you from accomplishing your goals and dreams. And set goals and dreams and focus on those daily. Think positively and speak life into yourself and into the ones you love. With that all being said, I hope to see you all right black in the chats at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your daily vitamins. Enjoy the rest of this lovely day. And don't forget, I've got my third eye on you. Peace.